Yo, to the Hype Magazine, this is Play from Kid and Play.
This is Kid from Kid and Play.
Christopher Reed, Christopher Martin, Kid and Play.
Let's get hype.
Hype.
Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome to another live session with the Hype Magazine. I'm your editor-in-chief, Jerry Doby, and today, I've got a musical icon. I remember where I was when I first heard the music. Shout out to the Army for giving me an opportunity to be drunk in an enlisted man's club on base, talking about, Sheila. I'm sorry, I can't sing. I don't want to be disrespectful to the music, but we have
sing it, brother. That's all right with me.
the man himself, Mr. Melvin Riley, one of the founders of the iconic, the globally known, respected, and loved Ready for the World. If you're my age, you already know, Oh Sheila, Love You Down. I'm not gonna sing that one because that was good. I got a couple of babies behind that song.
Okay.
Good. You know, when we made belly rubbing music,
yeah, that's right.
People actually danced and stuff. So new joint called Sugar Daddy, and it's an amazingly up to date. It successfully brings the integrity of singing.
Love it. Love that.
The use of timbre, intonation, timing. And he got lyrical missiles up in that little R&B thing. Go on with it, Mr. Melvin Riley. Ready for the World. Thank you for being with us today.
Man, it is an honor. And like I told you, man, thank you for your service, brother, because we all appreciate you guys. And I just want to let you know that one for sure.
Oh, man, thank you so kindly. Thank you so kindly. I normally would refrain from being on camera, but today, when I do the screenshots, I'm going to say I got to talk to Melvin Riley. I'm going to brag, get my brag on and my fanboy on.
That's right. That's right.
It's all good. Talk to me about this musical masterpiece, Sugar Daddy. I ain't got a chance.
You know, this Sugar Daddy, man, is, I think for the last 25 years, females have kind of not had that type of swag given to them from the Teddy Pendergrasses, the OJs, the guys that really sang to women. You know, I hold women in a high standard. And I like to sing things that's gonna move women and the fellas. And Sugar Daddy is one of those songs that fellas our age already know what it's about. You know what I'm saying? You know, you want to represent, but you want to take care of women as well, like we used to back in the day. You know, and it's just being a man about it. And when you can help and be who you are and who you should be to a woman, hey, baby, I got you. And that's what Sugar Daddy is about. I got you. I know you might be going through this, might be going through that, but I've taken care of my business so I can take care of your business. And that's Sugar Daddy.
You know, and I have it, with your permission, I have to weigh in. And, you know, the way the song is laid out, it's a man doing what a man's supposed to do for his woman.
That's the way I was raised. Yes, sir.
You know, y'all can disrespectfully call it, oh, y'all Sugar Daddy, you paying. But young brothers, if you getting tossed around for a Birkin real quick,
true that.
Ain't you a sugar daddy?
There you go. They just don't know it.
If they getting flued out by you, and their bills is paid, ain't you a sugar daddy?
Ain't you?
If you a man who's committed to a woman, you're a sugar daddy. Why? Because not only are you giving her the money, but you're giving her love, affection, concern.
And you letting her know you got her back. And you got her back.
There you go.
And it's not even about her not handling her business all the time. It's the fact that you there to step up when she needs you, whether that be financially, spiritually, emotionally, and in different ways. Sugar Daddy is that fun kind of vibe that's not going so deep in maybe the emotional part or the spiritual part, but you get this message that I got you in all these areas. And I wanted to come out with something that's you can talk about. I like to sing songs that people can talk about that's got that real hook. And I come from I was born in Clarksdale, Mississippi, where the blues was born.
Right.
And so when all my friends were listening to this, that, and the other, I grew up listening to blues because Clarksdale, Mississippi is that Delta blues.
Right.
So I would have to go down to Mississippi every summer. And after school was up, we'd load up the car and my father would drive me down and my uncle would drive me down to Mississippi. And that's how we would do it. So I think I got a lot of those roots of storytelling from the blues.
So storytelling and the soul.
Oh, yeah.
You hit some riffs and some notes that just hit you right like in the center of your chest. There's two times that the pit, gets when you getting ready to fight, or you get ready to get into something else.
Right.
That is still responsibility.
True.
And that song hit sonically for me, gave me that lean forward, get into it, and like enjoy the nuances. The bluesy nuances, the soul nuances combined with the contemporary sounds and what people would call, standard R&B, you know what I mean? Created a new lane sonically. I think your voice has always been part of the instrumentation in the production.
Yes.
You
definitely.
as a musical instrument, I think you continue to respect that, but it's updated here. Talk to me about the process of accepting some new nuances into your already established style and voice.
I think listening to music and being a music listener, it kind of gels with you when you sit down and you start writing music, whether it's the instrumentation or your vocals. Excuse me. I usually start with that music. That music has to do something to me before I sing one word. And usually I'll ride around. If I got that music banging in my ear and I'm riding around in my car, what can I say to complement this music? Because the music has to touch me first. So when that's working out, then I start to lay in it like a bed and situate myself within that music. And that's been my man, I've written like that forever. That music, I'll come up with that melody first, the words come second. And then you gotta be singing about something. You just can't, love songs are great and people have been hearing about love forever, but when it comes to ballads, for me, I gotta sing something above what everybody else is singing about, something that's really gonna get the ears. And I know Sugar Daddy is one of those songs that's got that little like, wait a minute, what did he just say? He'll pay what? Student loans, what? So I gotta say words that's real and that's gonna attract people. And I think that's why I get a lot of respect from the fellas and ladies because I want to sing that song that we both gelling with.
I think what I enjoy the most is the elevation mentally. It's not just a surface song. Yeah, it's fine, it's fun and all that good stuff. But you're saying, like you said, you're saying something. Student loans, that's a real situation that's going on right now.
Situation. That's what I'm talking, yeah.
And people are like, well, how come, them folks over there could get their PPP loans, erased, but I'm still looking at these student loans. And my man is stepping up. I'm the man. I'm ready to help you.
Yeah.
You've got $100 grand in student loan. You've done the work. We're going to help you ease the pain and leverage, So that's what I'm here for. Help me. And I'm not a religious dude, but to, with a woman supposedly being a helpmeet for the man, right?
Yeah.
If she's done everything to be that helpmeet, but needs help herself.
There you go. And that's what you alluded to earlier in the conversation, what we're supposed to do. Now, I'm not saying to be a sucker for a woman, but you can be a man for one, and they can call it whatever they want to, but long as your relationship is your relationship, she respects what you're doing, you respect what she's doing. Hey, I'll be your sugar daddy. And really, I'll be a fool for you because what it is that kind of swaggy swag that's saying not the fool that the world thinks, but I'll be a sucker or a fool for you because I'm crazy about you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think there's a disconnect sometimes in music, the emotion that you're talking about.
Yeah.
The discussion of commitment. I'm all in. I'm gonna stand on business. You don't have to be that hard, bro. Just say I'm all in.
There you go. That's what's been going on for the last 25 years. You ain't got to be that hard. Just be what you are, who you are. and let your actions speak for themselves. But this all I'm gonna be this and I'm all hard. That ain't what's happening.
It's not even necessary, bro. You be too hard for yourself sometimes. You
Thank you.
can't even get around yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
What was the most fun though, as you were, because you obviously maybe listen to the track, 300-400 times, and you know, and I can only imagine. I'm imagining because you've heard thousands of songs, thousands of sounds and tracks, and created music for not only yourself but others.
Mm-hmm.
Is your experience jaded as far as listening to music as a consumer, or are you always analyzing?
Oh my gosh, I'm always analyzing.
uh,
It's a, and I wish I wasn't that way, but I'm always analyzing, I'm always like even movies, I watch movies for the production and the writing and I want to see what elevation that you can bring people that hadn't already been done and how well you do it. And so that fun part is impressing yourself. And my biggest fun part is if I give myself chill bumps.
yeah.
That's my thing. If I don't give myself chill bumps when I'm writing a song and I'm like, oh, that's a cold chord, or oh, that's a fat hook, or that's a cold lyric, I'm not doing nothing. And usually I throw that out the door.
Mm,
But if I get that feeling, I'm like, when I listen to it, and I stay away from it maybe a week. If I come up with something, I'll listen to it maybe a week after I did the production on it, stay away from it just to see if it's still hitting me like that. And
mhm.
if it's hitting me like that, that's when I move forward with the song. But I don't waste time on something that I don't feel is going to be a strong song.
Y'all look at the background. He got the bona fides right behind him.
I like that word, bona fides.
You see all the chart placements back there. This brother says, I'm not putting it out if it's not going to impact. I don't want to be a part.
That's very true.
I can only count like, that's 10 right there. That's
Oh, I
in
got it.
frame. That's,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that's,
yeah, 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 yeah.
that's 10 in frame. But
I got another
look,
one up there. There we
look at
go.
the scroll. Look at the scroll. Go ahead. Go ahead. I love it. I love it. So when we're talking about making music and we talk about people who understand music from the grassroots movements of R&B to the benchmark moments that defined musical eras,
Mhm.
Melvin Riley, Ready for the World, they were it. So here, thank you, for having intestinal fortitude to continue to navigate
Oh, my
this
man.
maze
Yes,
of,
yeah.
of, of the entertainment industry.
And you know it is a maze.
Roger that. See, I don't make music, but I'm watching and I'm going, I wouldn't be an artist.
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
no. First of all, I don't trust people enough to deliver parts of myself to them
Okay.
and say you accept it. No, I've lived in the shadows all my life. I'm not trusting you with nothing. But
That's powerful right there.
I
Half of me feels this way too, but yeah.
have what?
Half of me feels that way sometimes. Like, did I really just tell the world this part of me? And then I'll be like, yeah, because you gotta have that bravado. You gotta have that thing where God blesses you with a gift. Of course, music doesn't come like it. I'll take different musicians that never teach themselves anything, but they develop this skill, this melody to play music, to write music, and never had a lesson.
Mm,
I've never had a lesson. When I was about 7 years old, my mom took me to piano and my sisters to piano lessons. I'll never forget Miss Northrope.
mhm,
And it was not for me. I could not keep my attention span sitting there with the piano that long. But my mother did a genius thing. She bought a pool piano and put it in the living room.
mhm,
And when I would come home from football practice, I would tinkle on it.
mhm.
And that's where I developed that melody. I was writing songs. Football is my first love.
Okay, okay.
I thought I was going to be a professional football player. Couldn't told me.
You from Michigan, of course.
Yes. And man, I would come home and just tinkle with that piano and I would write songs. Never had a lesson, but I would be coming up with songs that my buddies would like. Of course, they were kiddie songs, but that's how it develops. So when you say that part of you that I don't trust people to give that part, I feel that way sometimes. But the part of me that gives says, no, you do your thing.
Mm.
Yeah.
And when you conquered that angst about sharing your inner parts, what has there been a highlight reaction from a supporter, a follower, a fan who said, you know what? On this day, you met me where I am and pulled me out of
Mm.
a deep, deep hole.
Yes. Massive amounts of people on my Facebook, Instagram, they go so deep with where they were, how I affected them. And the group Troop just put out a video, an interview they did about 3 weeks ago, and they were expressing how I influenced their music
Mm.
and how I was the reason why there is a Troop. Well, the funny thing about that is the documentary we have coming out has a plethora of celebrities. And when I say so, I mean heavyweights that are in here, and I never knew I impressed them like that, or I wouldn't influence them like that.
Mm.
Anywhere from Ice Cube, to Anthony Anderson, to it's just amazing. So when people tell they're ready for the world stories, that's when I can say that's why I can share that inner me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Look, colleagues, compatriots, peers
Right.
across generational and genre lines. Q, lyricist, West Coast lyricist from heaven. You feel
Mm.
me?
Yeah.
Troop, dancing they behinds off, making that fun party music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And yeah,
And
it's a very
to
rewarding.
say, I've been impacted by you, to be able to say, I have impacted the fabric of
Mm.
music,
Yeah.
not genre, but of music, the
Of
world of
music.
music, has to be satisfying, scary, because of the additional responsibility, maybe
Yeah.
that people on the outside looking in are placing on your shoulders.
Yeah. But you
Because
need that.
mhm,
You need that when you go to write. You have to give your best. And I like that pressure because that pressure makes me say, no, when you're feeling lazy, you can't be lazy. And to impact people, and you got to make sure that you never let them down. But I like that pressure. But I know what they're saying. I feel that way about George Clinton.
mm,
I feel that way about Stevie Wonder.
mhm,
I feel that way about Prince. I feel that way about Michael Jackson. Those are my big four. Those are for
mhm,
me, musically.
mhm,
And George Clinton, man, I tell you, he impacts me too right now, as he does many people. That's why Dr. Dre's first album is letting you all know, wait a minute, did y'all forget about George Clinton?
mhm.
Because he's a huge George Clinton fan. I don't know if Dre or me has the biggest fan for George Clinton, but George Clinton impacts me like that.
Mm.
So I appreciate it when another artist says that.
When I want to stomp through a party, throw on a George Clinton.
Come on now.
I'm gonna stomp. They
Oh
go
yeah.
like, what this fool? That dude with his gray hair stomping like that. Psh,
That's that real music.
right? It's real music. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I had an opportunity to talk to him, and so I'm leading into this question about your biggest surprise of the business part of
Mhm.
the music business. And to preface that, I had interviewed Mr. Clinton several times
Okay.
around his project, Flashlight 13 project,
Oh,
which was to get his master's
yeah.
back, which he finally did. And he was explaining to me that his administrator had somehow taken his name off of some music and claimed it for themselves. So I was surprised about that machination. What has been your biggest surprise,
Well,
business wise?
that's pretty much every recording artist's biggest surprise that the recording business was built. and still is, but especially coming from the jazz era on up, business wise, was always meant that we put you out there, blow you up. We don't ask you for money from the shows that you do, and we should make as much money as we can from the record sales.
Mm,
And that's the way the business has always been set up. We'll
mm,
promote the heck out of you, blow you up, and we won't ask you for money from the road. And we just gonna go ahead and give you small percentages of your record sales.
mm,
But the good thing about it is when you write your own material, they
mm,
can't do anything with the songwriters. You know what I'm saying? So if you're an
mm,
artist, you got to deal with that game. When you are the artist and you write your music, make sure that you handle your publishing if you're the songwriter. And the biggest surprise that I think I've learned is how the scales are so unbalanced when it comes to the music industry. Getting your masters back, which we're in the midst of negotiating our masters now.
mm.
35-year situation is what it is. And so we just retained attorneys to go ahead and have that negotiations. We'd love to get the masters back,
Of course.
but that's a tug of war that our attorneys are going to have to handle and go with that. But as far as publishing is concerned, it's a beautiful thing because I own my publishing.
Mm.
And I'm so happy about that because, even if you're struggling to get your masters back, you wrote the hit songs, you still can make your
Right.
money.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the biggest surprise for me. I didn't know it was so unbalanced.
I'm learning every day as I talk to the elder statesmen of the business. You know, some of the shenanigans that have gone on early. Everybody says, "Oh, got a TLC contract," right? Nobody
Mm,
really understands what all that entails.
yeah.
Or when you wake up to now say, I own my publishing because I wrote this.
Yeah.
That's how I'm getting paid. I don't
Yeah.
care if you write just one verse. You have a ghostwriter, but if you write one verse, don't you get a piece of that publishing, right?
Right.
Based on your percentages. So that's something that they can't take away by using the masters, which the masters apply to what sync licensing and things like that.
Yeah. Well, the masters are record sales.
Okay.
Yeah. So you got masters and then you got publishing. The
Mhm.
record company has to pay the publisher, which is the songwriter, for even putting that record out.
Okay.
So yeah, whoever that's a songwriter has had hit songs are happy. The only thing they may not be happy about is the master side. And you
Okay.
still get the master side, which is cool, but the scales are unbalanced. But as you said, if you're a songwriter, you wrote a verse or two and you got a percentage, that's for life.
Mhm.
Unless, and as you spoke about George Clinton, I heard the stories about that as well. This guy is a genius, and who knows what really went on back in those 70s that was even worse than the 80s and the 90s, because that 70s had to be tough.
Mhm.
They have to work 5 shows or 4 shows a week just to make it make sense because the record company is like, well, we gave you the shows for free. We don't get anything from that. But that's not a fair balance at all. Yeah.
I would like to know. I watched an interview um, where Prince said he believed that music is in good hands, speaking about why he wasn't going to make a new album and how he was supporting newer artists coming
Mm.
up. How do you see you know the state of the union of real music, real singers, crooners, creatives, not the cookie cutters?
Well, for me, I got that Tom Brady complex. I'm very competitive. I'm very like I said, certain things that just you got in you. And I'm gonna continue to write as long as I can write hit songs.
Mm,
And I feel like I can't write those impactful songs, and I can step back on the farm and ride the horses and play with my grandkids and chill. But right now, I still had that competitiveness in me to make those hit songs. And I think that's the reason why artists like Charlie Wilson and the older school artists are becoming relevant again because we like, hold on, y'all been fooling us for too long with these kid music that don't really know what they're singing about, talking about, that we can't feel. And it's caused myself and other artists that came out in the 70s and 80s to start to become relevant again because you all want that real music in, and you know what real music sounds like. Anybody from the age of probably 35, 30 on up know what that real music is.
Mm-hmm.
It's like good cooking.
Mm-hmm.
You know what it should taste like, but if you've been eating the same for the last 10 years, that same weak food that like, wait a minute, where the seasoning? Where the freshness at? You get like I remember when my mama made this, that well, that's the same with music. I remember when music would be that hit, when I would be, that's my jam. But it kind of fell apart. I think, and I know they might get mad at me for this, but it kind of started falling apart during the late 90s to
Mm.
where you're like, come on, bro. And the record companies would put it out, but we as a consumer was like, you force feeding us this. And so after a while, it's just got to the point to where, hey, we got to hear some real good music. Where the Charlie Wilsons? Where the Melvin Rileys? Where even Enchantment? Where are the hit makers? So I think that's where we are right now. So I think music is headed in the wrong, or do I believe that music is in a state of emergency? R&B music, I think music executives are an issue. And I mean that where are the Berry Gordy's?
Mm.
Where's the talent at the record company executive positions? Where's the Lil Silas's, Gerald Busby's?
Mm.
You got to start with people that know what the cooking should be
Mm.
in order to bring out artists that deserve it. If you're an executive and you don't know, we really got a problem. And
Mm.
I think the big companies have to start hiring people that know how to cook in the kitchen.
Bro, I'm telling you,
And
me and my
that's where the state of music has fallen apart at the executive level.
executive level.
Nobody wants to say that.
We have people who've never made music. You
Yeah.
know, it's like a soldier coming back from war and having a therapist who's never been to war.
Yeah. Yeah,
How
they can't quite. Yeah.
you got theory, you got methodologies and treatments that could take us years to come back to humanity.
Yeah.
But the bean counters and suits getting so caught up in pennies,
Mm-hmm.
losing sight of the beauty and the impact of music.
Mm.
It's a betrayal. It's an adulteration of an art form. I don't
Mm.
care if it's country. I don't care if it's rock and roll,
That's
hip
true. Yeah.
hop, or whatever. It's across the board.
Yeah.
To hear them, emphasize the bottom line
Yeah.
instead of promoting really great art and giving opportunities to creatives on multiple levels
Yeah.
to apply their trade and earn a fair wage. The senator lady who got up and spoke on the House floor talking about New Mexico, she was from New Mexico, talking about artists not getting paid a fair amount. So, I mean, it's gotten into the halls of Congress again.
Again, yeah, it's always, yeah. I cannot believe Congress has allowed a lot of things that they have allowed in the music industry. I know how it happens because you got Congress in hoots with, the big zillion-dollar record companies.
Right.
Last summer, they denied artists to get their masters back. And they said, well, everyone has to sue the record company or negotiate individually. The class action lawsuit was denied after 35 years. So you got a lot of rock and roll people that were upset. You got a lot of R&B people that's upset because now you have to go after that company individually, and they already knew what that was going to do. A lot of artists can't even come up with $30,000 to pay an attorney. You know what I'm saying? A lot of those older artists, like, okay, I got to give this attorney 30,000 to go after my masters. They know what they're doing. So Congress is shaking hands with some of the other people too. Um, and I don't know what the state is going to be as far as that coming around again.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. With so many artists from that era living hand to mouth,
Mm-hmm.
even in this day and age, I was really excited that Lenny Kravitz, did what he did for George, paid, for his star on the Walk of Fame.
Oh, I
That
didn't
was,
know that. Lenny Kravitz paid for George Clinton's star.
yeah. He
Oh,
$20,000 that he had
okay.
to pony up, but supporting
It's
the
worth it.
elder. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
yeah, they give you the star, but there's some business behind that. You know,
Okay.
the city of Hollywood,
Mm.
does a thing, and then Cat Williams just paid for I think it's Melba Moore. She just
Oh,
got her star. Cat Williams did that. So, the younger generation who appreciates the material
yeah.
that you guys make,
You're right. Right.
that era, real music, they're saluting and supporting um, from different walks of the entertainment industry.
Mhm.
Sugar Daddy is the new single by the iconic voice of Melvin Riley. I don't have to say he's from Ready for the World, but I'm going to because Ready for the World made a huge difference in my youth. You
Mm.
we've already discussed where I was, what I was doing when I first experienced the music. I can't even say the name of the dance that they were doing at the time. You know why? Because it's now not politically correct.
I'm glad you said Ready for the World. I stand behind Ready for the World. A lot of people don't know a lot of those songs are just me in the studio by myself.
Mm.
Uh, and it was never a thing that was popular to say back in the day because groups were the in thing.
Hmm.
But they didn't know that Love You Down, that's all me by myself. They don't know that Can He Do It Like This, that's all me by myself. There's a lot of songs. So when you say Ready for the World, I love it because a lot of that I did in the studio by myself. Now there was some stuff on the first album that we all joined in and did some certain things, but that group thing is very hard. You can ask probably Paul Ring would know. A lot of guys that come from rock and roll R&B groups know that group thing is tough. And
Mm.
sometimes as an artist, whoever that guy is that's writing the songs that you might be hearing, it might have just be one guy that did the whole thing for the group, but it's called Ready for the World.
Wow. How does that work on performances? Okay, this is your part, learn this part. This is your part, learn that part. Is that how it goes? Like a
That's the way
part?
it's supposed to be. So let's just say I'm in the studio and I did Love You Down. Then
Hmm.
I'll call people and say, I want y'all to hear this new song. I'll be in the studio. You got to come in and do your parts. If you don't show up in the studio, and then Little Silas is calling me saying, where's the album? Melvin is who they call to figure out, are we going to do this or not? Because your album is 3 weeks late.
Mm.
So a lot of times Lowell would love a song and say, bro, it's already a hit. Why are you going back in? I say, well, because so-and-so got to come in and do their part. Somebody got to do that part. And he's like, no, I'm putting this out right now because I love it. It's working. You already did this, that, and the other. A lot of songs like that were put out that went number one that I ended up doing in the studio all by myself. And that's not to say anything bad about the group. It's just to say that when business has to be taken care of, you cannot wait forever for everybody to do their part, you know,
Mm.
and you got to get it done.
We need that in a loop.
Yeah, man, you got to
You
get,
sitting there waiting, oh, who gonna do it? You gonna do it? No, I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna get in there. Okay, I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna take the bread.
and that's where a lot of stuff falls out right there.
Feel me? But I'm
Yeah,
part of the group. You performing the song. You're like black box.
yeah, and it's a reality. It's a
Yeah.
reality, and
Yeah.
I've talked to the group and we've talked about it, and maturity makes people open their eyes to a lot of things. Things you took for granted when you were young, like, yeah, I really should have been on this song. I should have been on Can He Do It Like This, but I was busy buying cars or flying out. Okay, but guess what? Ready for the World got an album that's 3 weeks late. What are we gonna do? I
Mm.
gotta get it done. I gotta get it done. And so that's how a lot of stuff happens.
That's leadership.
Yeah.
That's self-starter. That is someone saying, I'm gonna step up for the group
Yeah.
to keep us publicly together. Behind the closed doors, we know the business.
You preaching. That's
It's teamwork.
exactly how it is.
Teamwork makes the dream work. And to be called the leader, you have to lead. And
Yeah.
sometimes you have to know every part of everybody else's job so
Yeah.
that, when it's time to go, you're not lost.
It's like a quarterback, you know, you got to know everybody's position uh, in order to guide that offense. You know what I'm saying? Even though you the QB, you still got to understand what your tight end got to be doing and your right tackle and the whole nine. So
Hmm.
you as a leader has to understand all the positions and understand the bigger picture of things.
Hmm.
So put the pettiness to the side. This is what we got to get done.
I don't want to bore you with all this seriousness because I'm really an admirer of your work, and I would keep you on here like 6 hours, bro. Like you was at working at Macy's. I'd be like, well, what about this? And what about that?
No,
Because
it's
there's
okay.
so much to conversate about, and hopefully you'll just come back and
Oh,
we'll
yeah,
do it.
this will be
Uh,
part one. Hey, whenever you're ready to come back, I'll come back and we talk about whatever, brother. I appreciate it.
Sounds good. Because I want to make sure that we get all the juice out the meat, so to speak. For all you vegans, I apologize if you're upset, but
Yeah,
I'm a meatitarian. I'm going to get all the juice out the meat. So
Right.
it is. Sugar Daddy is an amazing single. He's got a cinematic music video that accompanies it. Amazing. I really enjoyed it. And it's available on YouTube. I would say, I'm gonna tell you, Sugar Daddy is available on all DSPs,
Yes.
but I would like to, and I always do this, it's none of my business. He didn't give it away for free. He made it available for sale too. So how about go over there and download it, what I mean, on whatever your favorite music site is that allows downloads. Don't just stream it for free, because we already know what. It's 1,000 streams to get a penny now,
There
right?
you go.
To even
Right.
be eligible for monetization. So help.
Congress, but yeah.
Hey, Congress, what up? No, she's trying. They're trying to get y'all three cents or a full penny or something like that, right?
Well,
Right now
thank
you get
God.
what,
Thank-
0.03 or something?
You know what? I don't even know what it is. I'm more like I'm so happy about older catalogs because what's really making the money out of older catalogs? That's what's making the juice. That's what's making the
Seniors.
juice. Yeah, it's
Yeah. It's
heavily,
that.
heavily stacked. Yeah, so that's the beauty of it.
That's an amazing thing. But check out YouTube, check out Sugar Daddy on YouTube. It's got great art, great art. The director of photography did their thing. The DP did their
Thank
thing.
you. I
And
let them know. I appreciate it.
I appreciate the focus changes and the gel changes that change, Anyway, I'm
Right.
I'm kind of a geek.
Transition.
I know I'm a geek, but so I loved it, full package. I look forward to being educated by you more. I got a 4-part in my brain going on right now. But I want to respect your time. Thank you for being with me so early this morning. Um, Living legend, Melvin Riley, ready for the world. Sugar Daddy, it like mind mapping for journalism. This is not as bad as it sounds. It's not nefarious.
Right, right.
It is doing what your grandfather did for
Yeah,
your grandmother. It is doing what your mother did for your father, what your father did for your mother, if you're intact that way.
right.
He just, could be a stepfather, could be a responsible man being
Mm,
responsible and committed to his partner,
I like that.
and you're
That's
participating.
yes, indeed. Right.
Married to the same sister for 21 years. I had learned the hard way.
Woo.
And it's not even big stuff. You know what I mean? Anyway, I would like to let you close out by talking to the youngsters who are now discovering really great music techniques, methodologies, revisiting some of the foundational parts of actually making music, and maybe a word of encouragement.
I will encourage first the parents of a lot of younger, when I say younger kids, maybe 7, 8, 9 years old, put those instruments back in their hands. I know that you got the home studios and I know that you are trying to do the things that's happening right now, but it's something that happens when it's being played from that individual spirit because music is spiritual. It's not always just about tapping buttons that a lot of, so I would say get away from the tapping of buttons for the younger kids and let them develop instrumentation so that there is a future for R&B, rock and roll, alternative, or whatever it is. That innate vibe and feeling of a violin, of actually playing it, comes off your fingers from here. The guitar playing comes from here. And it's something different that happens spiritually with that as opposed to tapping buttons. So I want to encourage the parents, put those instruments back in those kids' hands and show them what home cooking is. Let them hear the Marvin Gaye's. Let them hear the Teddy Pendergrasses, the Donny Hathaways, the Aerosmith. Let them hear what real cooking tastes like. You'll develop a future for music. So that's what I would say to the youth.
Throw McDonald's out the window.
Yeah, man.
Get some home cooking. Get some home cooking. I love it.
Indeed.
Sugar Daddy, Melvin Riley, ready for the world. The man with the plan, still here decades later, making a difference, helping, on a career trajectory, an artist who works this long has helped so many people feed their families based on the production of his art. Mad respect. When you talk about the uptick in the job market, these are jobs, producers, engineers, A&R people,
Record company exec.
companies, execs. These are all things that are part of. So don't always feel you've got to be in front of the mic. You can be behind the mic.
Oh, yeah.
Because the person in front of the mic needs your services, and that's going to help you feed your family. You have more opportunity. Because being a legend like Melvin Riley is like the 1% who make it to the NFL or to the basketball league, right? But the people who help him put that together, the coaches, the water boy, the towel boy, the laundromat,
Oh, yeah.
always paid, player.
Yeah, man.
The Hype Magazine live sessions. We out.
Love it.
As an artist, we should reflect the time.
Why you so talented?
Because I'm black.
Why you so amazing?
Because I'm black.
It's really important that we build characters so that people understand their story matters.
2 Chainz and I both are just really into good food.
And when you know you are royalty, you will only aim in life to be royalty.
We're doing it right now. I don't give a damn what they say about me. Yes, I called your ass out. I know I shouldn't be saying this kind of.
Shout out to Hype Magazine Network.
Shout out to the Hype Magazine Network.